There are some questions in our life that bother us at night when we gaze into the sky, make us restless when we hit the bed, and force us to zone out during our classrooms. This is Mohsin, and today I am going to address that questions. Actually, I am here to kickstart our book review series, in which we are going to discuss some of the incredible books which you guys should read at least once in your lifetime. Technically, this is our very first book, which is brief answer to the big questions by Stephen Hawking, but the very last book of Stephen Hawking, and that is one of the reasons I chose this book to actually pay tribute to one of the greatest minds of our scientific history. And before starting our formal review, let's have a brief introduction to know better who was Stephen Hawking. So, Stephen Hawking was a renowned physicist known for his work on black hole and on understanding the nature of time. But unfortunately, at the age of 21, he was diagnosed of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which is a fatal motor neuron disease. Yet, despite such critical condition, he defied all the odds and did groundbreaking contribution in understanding the universe. So the very first question which was addressed by Stephen Hawking in this book was, is there a God? And I don't know why I am bothering myself or daring myself to address this question, which was not answered by Aristotle, to Nietzsche, all the way to Mandu and contemporary philosophers like Yuval Noah Harari, because this is something subjective and we cannot deal it with objectively, or we can say objective facts. Since Hawking was an atheist and he believed that science can give us more pragmatic answers in contrast to religion, so there is no need for a creator to explain the universe, because the laws of physics, especially the gravity and quantum mechanics, can explain how the universe has created itself, and we are going to discuss this briefly in a while. Let's move to the second question, which is how it all began. And actually this is humanity's biggest mystery, to know where we came and where we are heading towards. And the scientific answer to this question is the singularity of Big Bang, which actually happened 13.8 billion years ago. There was nothing before Big Bang, and you may be wondering that if there was nothing before Big Bang, then how I am here sitting and explaining this topic to you. But don't worry, quantum mechanics can allow the universe to appear from nothing, because in vacuum there is some sitting form of energy in which particles can spontaneously appear and disappear, and Big Bang can be a result of such fluctuations. Moving to our third question, which is there any other intelligent species? So the answer could be possibly yes, because the universe is incomprehensibly vast and there is always a possibility to have a living organism that can exist in some planet in our universe, or we can say in our galaxy. We can argue on their intelligence, like on their level of intelligence or consciousness, but this isn't something rare to have living microbes which can replicate themselves. And we humans are investing millions and billions to find water on Moon, on Mars and other planets, because where there is water, there is life. Can we predict the future? Theoretically, yes, by using the scientific laws of physics and mathematics. However, practically no, because the universe is chaotic and small changes can have large consequences. For example, the quantum mechanics and Heisenberg uncertainty principle. But personally, I believe that learning about history can help us understand the present much better and can give us idea of future where we are heading towards. Okay, so the next question which I am going to address is, what is the black hole? I am not referring to the one that exists in Islamabad and was founded by Dr. Pervez Hoodbhai, but the one that exists in our space, some million or trillion kilometers away from us. And actually the black hole is a region of space-time where the gravity is so strong that nothing, like not even light, can escape it. The boundary of black hole is known as event horizon, and it is a point of no return. Also in black hole, the matter is crushed into singularity, which is also a point of infinite density. And actually the black hole was the actual and prominent work of Stephen Hawking, about which he was famous for. He was the one who proposed the Hawking radiation, which stated that the black hole story evaporated with time. He was the one who studied that the information is not lost in black hole, it might be stored into the event horizon or some unknown way which we are unaware about yet. And this was actually endorsing the law of conservation of energy, which state that the energy cannot be destroyed or created. It just changes from one form to another. And now the next question is time travel possible? Theoretically, yes, by using the Einstein theory of relativity, which is equal to mc square. It actually states that the time is not an absolute quantity, but relative to the observer frame of reference and gravitational potential. In simple words, it states that if we travel faster than the speed of light, then the time is going to be slowed down for us. But still, there are a lot of complexities that hinders our time travel, such as the grandfather paradox, which states that if you travel into the past and kill your grandfather or prevent them to getting married, then there will be no existence of you in the future. So if you don't exist in the future, how come you travel to the past and stop them? That is why the Stephen Hawking introduced a new concept in this book, which is chronology protection conjecture, which states that the nature prevent travel into the past or into the future to avoid any kind of possible paradoxes. Now it's time to address the question 7, which is, will we survive on Earth? Actually, the Stephen Hawking was not optimistic about our future on this planet because of multiple reasons such as climate change, global warming, or overpopulation and AI, etc. But it is a fact that Homo sapiens were one of the most destructive forces that has ever evolved on this planet Earth. And we don't know what future uphold for us. However, our survival doesn't even matter because our existence is absurd and insignificant in contrast to the universe we live in. So it doesn't even matter. And we don't need to bother ourselves to think about it at this point of life. And now the next question is, should we colonize the space? Absolutely yes. We shouldn't stop ourselves from exploring new things, no matter from which domain it belongs, because space exploration is not just about our survival, it also leads to the scientific breakthrough. And Stephen Hawking actually gave us a direction from how we can colonize the space, starting from the Mars, because Moon is not suitable to sustain our life, then Europa and Titan. Let's move to the second last question, which is, will AI outperform us? At his time, Stephen Hawking was really worried about AI and its potential. But since the dawn of generative AI, each and everything around us is evolutionized, and we are in desperate need to integrate AI in our daily life. But we have to understand this one fact, that not everything is inherently good or evil. It's our use cases that make it worse or good for us. For instance, let's talk about the nuclear enrichment facility. We can utilize it to generate or produce cheap electricity, but at the same time we can use it to build bombs, which can bring apocalypse. So it's the use case which defines its credibility and its uses. But yes, there is a possibility that we are going to become Homo deus in near future. So it's time to address our last question, which is how we shape the future. So the Stephen Hawking was someone who believed in ingenuity. We state that the solution of our problems lies in science, innovation and collaboration, because no divine entity is there to save us. We have to save ourselves. Our whole life should be dedicated in the pursuit of science, and we should always stay curious and seek answers to the big questions. Hawking spent his entire life searching for answers to the biggest question of our existence. Yet he left us with something even great, which is the ability or temptation to keep asking questions. He showed us that the universe is not something to fear, but something to explore. That knowledge is not a destination, but a journey. And that our greatest power is not what we already know, but in our curiosity to discover more. So guys, seek truth, not fairy tale, because the truth will set you free. And as long as you keep asking big questions, we will continue to improve ourselves over time, because life is a gradual process of inner change that leads from ignorance to enlightenment through personal exposures. Peace out.